Welcome to the Momnesia podcast, a podcast for moms where we share the stories we want to remember and the ones we wish we could forget. We're your hosts, Julie Short and Sarah McLaughlin.
Momnesia Land, and hi, Julie.
Hey, Sarah.
You doing all right tonight?
I'm doing great. It's my favorite day of the week. Tuesday, Momnesia night.
Oh,
we do all of our recordings on Tuesday, and I always look forward to them.
Yeah, I do too.
Yay. So what's going on in your world right now?
Let's see. Something that was really, let's catch up. Something that was really fun is that Jeff and I just celebrated our anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, thank you. 18 years.
Whoa.
It's crazy. I can't believe it. Time flies when you're having fun, right?
Yeah. We're right behind you. We got 17 years.
Oh, awesome. So, honestly, the beginning of the summer, we got away, the two of us, thanks to a whole village of people scattered across the whole state. We had neighbors and friends and family taking, I think it was like 14 different people between.
Shut up.
Well, because we had, our parents did things, we had friends that did things, but we had to have like people, volleyball, you do this, and baseball, you come, like just a whole web of people to make it happen. It was worth every second because it was so nice to get away. So we kind of felt like that was the big thing. Did you have like
a Gantt chart?
Basically, okay. Yeah. It was like Jenga. One thing falls, it's over. We're coming home.
Yes.
So that was kind of our big thing. But for our anniversary, we were like, let's still, do something. So we went to Cafe Patachou.
Oh,
we love
Cafe Patachou.
And we had a nice little brunch, sat outside. It was awesome. But my favorite thing about it was, a lot of times you'll say, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? And we're like, okay, we're the us of almost 20 years. And we spent some time this time dreaming about saving up some money and, starting a fund now so that for our 20-year, we could do something big.
Yeah.
And
did you guys decide on what you want to do?
We were like looking online, we were like the millennials. We had our phones out and stuff, taking selfies.
You guys are so young and hip.
We are. I wore a hat. He had suspenders. It was awesome. No. So, we were talking about like, what kinds of things would you want to do if you could go anywhere? Well, we've talked about like a Holy Lands type thing, but that is definitely bucket list for us, but not
really romantic.
It's not like romantic, and it's not a fun like beach, like what I consider kind of anniversary vacation. Right. And so we were like, do we want to go somewhere hot and tropical, or do we want to do something like a Alaska cruise or a Viking River cruise, like in Norway, something like that? Or do we want to like go to the south of Italy? And it's going to take some work and arranging and saving up, but we were also reminiscing about our 10th anniversary. We had an awesome trip. We went to the Bahamas, and 3 of my good friends that I grew up with all got married that same summer. They were friends from church. And now, of course, the 8 of us have all connected and through the years and become friends. So we all decided to meet down in Miami and go on a 10-year anniversary trip together.
Oh, cool.
It was super fun. And so like in the day, we'd kind of do our own things or maybe do something with another couple. But then at night, when we did the dinner all together, our meals were together, and we might go to a show or something. And our other friends, it's not that they were super wild, but like they wanted to do the dancing and the chocolate fountains at midnight and the this and that. And we were like, but we brought like 10 good books. And so
nerds.
I know. And there were kids in the pool, and I don't know why I was like, ugh, as if. So
how many kids did you have at this point?
We had 2. So when we got home, our travel agent, who was one of our friends' moms from the trip, she called us and she's like, I just want to see how everything was. We went on Royal Caribbean. It was very nice. And we said, yeah, it was good. We had a good time. And she said, have you guys been on a cruise before? And we said, yeah, when we were first married, Jeff's parents treated us to a cruise as a family. Like we all went, it was our Christmas present. And it was on Holland America. And she said, oh, I would never put you on Holland America. And we were like, why?
Why?
And she said, oh, that's the 65 and older crowd. And we were like, bingo, there's our people.
Yes.
They had tea time every day, wooden chairs, no kids. It was very quiet. We worked out, we read books.
That is awesome.
So our friends made fun of us, but
is that the one that Tammy was talking about when John asked to bring Amy?
Yes, that was that trip.
I remember that.
First, like I hardly knew Amy, of course, at all. And then, I mean, still, that was so long ago. I was just getting to know her, but that was that trip. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's great. I still remember seeing pictures from that trip. It looked fun.
Yeah, it was very fun. Yeah, it was awesome. So yeah, it was fun to kind of reminisce and think about what's next, like what big thing we want to kind of dream about. So yeah. What's going on with you?
Well, your story about anniversary trips reminds me of a trip that Colin and I took in, let's see, what year would that have been? That would have been in 2009 because it was our 5th anniversary.
Okay.
Wait, I can't add 5 plus 2 is 7. So 2007. I was working for Food for the Hungry at the time, which is an NGO based out in Phoenix. And we were doing an study abroad for students who were interested in international development. And I got to go over and kind of see the program in action and help, not help, but just kind of chaperone the students as they were moving from Uganda to Rwanda.
Oh, wow.
So they spent some time in Uganda and then they were going to spend the rest of the semester in Rwanda. And I was helping to get an internship program started, and I was going and kind of doing these site visits to see, what do these country directors need when they're looking for interns? So I was going to be over there for 3 or 4 weeks, and it was going to fall over our anniversary.
3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so Colin was going to fly over.
He was going to drive.
He was going to drive to Uganda. He was going to meet me over there.
Okay,
and
cool.
The one thing that I do remember also about this trip, it was right when the Colts won the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And so Colin stayed up all night after the Colts finally won a Super Bowl and brought all of these newspaper articles. He thought I would want to read them.
Right. Aww.
It's all he wanted to talk about.
Right.
And he was completely jet lagged. Anyway, so we are going on our trip from Uganda to Rwanda. We're going to go to Queen Elizabeth State Park for a safari.
Oh, wow.
So cool. And when we arrived, there was this really nice kind of fancy resort, and we were not staying there. Okay. We were staying in the hostel area.
I guess Food for the Hungry. That makes sense.
Yeah. So we're staying in this hostel area, which are basically little campsites and little houses that are kind of spread out, and they have kind of dorm type setups for housing. And there was this one house that the other leaders and I were staying in, and Colin was there. Mm-hmm. And we got there at night, and the electricity had gone out.
Oh boy.
Which is it happens frequently. And so they have flashlights, what they call torches. Mm-hmm. And there was this tree-lined path to this house at the end. It looked like something you would see in a horror movie.
Okay.
And
oh my.
Our guide is flashing the torch back and forth. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, this scares away the lions. And I was like, excuse me?
Right.
What do you mean?
Say
He's
what?
like, well, the lions come up here at night for food. And I'm like,
in the
food?
jungle.
People leave out food? And he just kind of saw it. He's like, no, they're trying to eat humans. So I was completely freaked out. And then right then a tail kind of whipped out in the tree.
Gosh.
So we're running to the house. And that night, you could hear lions outside, wrestling with each other, right outside our
wow.
door. It was intense. So they told us, like, you should never, like, once it starts to get dark, you should never be out walking by yourself.
Okay.
You should always be in a car if you're moving anywhere on the campgrounds. But during the day, you should be fine.
And you should be fine, right?
Yeah, you should be fine. So on our anniversary, we decided to not go out on the safari with the rest of the group. You could like pay, I think it was like $20 to go up to the resort and spend the day at the pool. Okay. And so this was like a really nice resort, pool by ourselves. It's like overlooking this beautiful land. I mean, like you could see the Congo from there. It's just, it was so gorgeous, so relaxing, had books. We just stayed by the pool all day. Well, it was getting dark. It was starting to get dark, and we're like, okay, we should walk back now because we don't have a car to get us there, and we don't want to be out.
We gonna be food for the hungry.
Exactly. And so right next to our house was the kind of like welcome center, and we thought, oh, we haven't gone there. Let's stop by there, and it was closed. But it had like this back porch that you could like look out, and you can kind of see out onto I don't know what you would call it.
Is it like
the safari,
African
the
word?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you could look out and see awesome things. Well, from there, we were standing there. All of a sudden, I see like within 50 feet of us, I see a lion come up, slowly walk, and like get down into like a crouching position.
Oh my.
I was like, Colin, there is a lion. I'm terrified. I'm like, what are we going to do?
Right.
And he said, I think we should just stay here and try and look big. And I was like, right. I'm not going to stay here and look big.
So wait, what was the house that you were on?
Imagine like your back porch. Like there isn't.
It wasn't something you could go inside.
No. We are on a porch that is accessible, like how yours is. It's not like up high. It's just like this thing, this deck. And then from us to like, little past your trampoline. Is this line. And so I'm like, what are we going to do? So I see kind of off to the side, like 100 feet away to the right of us, I see a guard. And so I kind of like wave him down, and I'm like, there's a lion.
Right.
And so he comes over, he gets on his radio, and he's like, blah, 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 blah. And he's getting his gun out. And so he's got this gun, and he's like waving us to walk past him.
Right.
So we like turn around and walk really quickly, and we're in the parking lot, and all of a sudden you hear this roar. It like shakes the ground. It's so loud, and you hear this gunshot. And then these other like Jeeps come flying into the parking lot. I have never been so scared in my life. And like so they did not shoot her. They just shot into the air to try and scare her away. But I have never been so scared. Like I would replay that in my mind over and over and over again, because like, what if that guard hadn't been there? What if this lion had attacked us? I couldn't save Colin. Colin couldn't save me. Like, what do? Do you like run and leave your spouse there, like to fend for themselves?
Wow.
And try to go get help?
Run in opposite ways.
Do you try and help? Like, what do you do? So I was just like traumatized for a while, just thinking through all those what if scenarios.
So I'm guessing you haven't gone to see the new Lion King.
I have not, but I do want to see it. But yeah, that was our 5th year anniversary.
That's crazy.
It was fun.
That's exciting. That's going to be hard to top.
Yeah, it is. We haven't gone back to Africa since.
Did you end up staying the full, was it 3 or 4 weeks that you were there?
Yep.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was a really great time. I loved our time over there.
That's cool.
I'm excited for our guest today.
Yeah, tell us about her.
Well, today our guest is Kate Bolt, and Kate was my roommate.
Yeah.
And we lived together at Anderson and had such a fun time together. We had this cute little apartment that was on top of a house that has now been torn down, but we had so many great memories. That was right around the time when Tybo came out. Do you remember Tybo?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
So there were like 5 guys that lived in the house below us, like Jeff Y and Jared Schuler.
Yeah.
They would be like, okay, I guess they're doing Tybo.
Yeah.
We're like jumping up and down.
I remember that house, like where Brandon Farmer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Adam Galama, right?
Yep.
Those guys. Okay.
So we lived up top there, and it was such a fun time. Kate is an excellent cook, and I am not a cook. And so that was really fun. Like for the first time to have like your own little place. It was such a great time. It was kind of a dark time too, which we'll talk a little bit about, but Kate is just one of my all-time favorite people, and she has just started this cool new adventure that I'm sure she will talk a little bit about called Lark.
It's so cool. Like,
yes, you need to follow her on all the
Yes.
social medias. But yeah, Kate Bolt, or Lark by Kate Bolt. So we'll definitely have those handles on our show notes as well. But I'm excited to introduce you to her.
Let's go get her.
Okay. Kate, welcome to Momnesia.
Ooh, I'm so happy to be here.
We so excited to have you here. Kate is one of my dearest friends. We went to college together. And not only did we go to college together, we were roommates.
I didn't
Yes, we
remember
were.
that.
Yes. So Kate's senior year, my first senior year.
Okay.
And some of my best memories were up there and some of my worst memories were up there. So some of the best, Kate was really fun because one, she's an amazing cook. And so she was like one of the first people to help teach me some cooking basics. And then also I got to just partake in the lovely meals that she made for us up there.
That's fun.
That was fun. Kate
In college, who does that?
I know. Like, where did that come from? Did you
Kate
just grow
Mans
up
does.
cooking?
I just needed to get rid of my stress and avoid my studies.
Okay. Yeah. That's why I became a songwriter.
There you go.
College.
Avoidance.
Interesting. Yep.
Yeah. And then the other fun thing was Kate, she's a sleepwalker and talker. She doesn't really talk, but she laughs. And so I would wake up in the middle of the night and Kate was just laughing in her
My
sleep.
gosh,
It
that's
was
funny.
so funny. And then one time, do you remember that one time I woke up, it was like 2 or 3 in the morning and the shower was running. And I was like, what is going on? And Kate was in there. I'm like, Kate, are you awake? It's 2 in the morning.
gosh.
So she had just woken up and started showering at 3 in the morning.
I had a final that day, so I was worried I would miss it.
Oh, so
And
you were doing.
Yeah, I did this a lot. I would be worried about something, and then I would get up and shower.
Okay.
But thankfully, I had Julie who would help me to stop doing that.
Get her back in bed. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So those were some of the really fun times, but it was also the first time in my life. Well, probably not the first. I think it was the second time where I really struggled with depression. And there would be days when I wouldn't get out of bed.
Oh, wow.
And Kate would come in and check on me
Okay.
and try to get me up and try to get me to go eat.
Okay.
And it was rough.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope I helped you like you needed to help. Oh, wow.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
you did.
I don't know.
You totally, I mean, just that you would even go in that room. Sometimes that would be hard to go in and
Oh, man.
just sit with someone. She would just sit on the bed with me.
Isn't that the key to everything? Stay in the room.
Yep. Yep. So I am so grateful for Kate and her friendship and that we've been able to stay in contact all these years after college. Because that's also kind of rare that you can maintain those friendships,
Totally,
even from
yeah.
a distance.
Yeah, totally.
Because Kate, you're not here in Indiana.
Yeah, where are you?
I am not. I'm way up north in Michigan.
Yeah.
Woo! Way far away. I used to drive home almost like every weekend one year of college because I just wanted to be home. But when I lived with Julie, I didn't do that because I liked being at college.
Yeah.
So I lived 4 hours away in Holland, Michigan, right near Lake Michigan, and cute little town. We live right downtown. Oh, I do too.
She has
It's a little small sometimes, but it's a good town. I always see someone that I know.
Oh yeah, I bet.
But we ride our bikes all over and walk to school on a good day. We usually don't, though.
Gorgeous farmers market. It's like 3 times a week, right? Or twice a week?
It's twice a week. It even is in the winter lately. It's amazing.
That's awesome.
I know.
It's a very cool place to live. Well, that is my intro for Kate. But Kate, we want to hear directly from you. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us your stats and a little bit about your professional life.
I am a mom to 3 kiddos. Jack is 11. Willem is 9. He's named after the Dutch king, Willem. And then Vivian is 7. She's in first grade. They're all at the same school this year, which is just like my dream life.
That's awesome.
Yes.
They just all come out and get in my car, and things are easy. I just always say, like, I can't believe that they don't wear diapers anymore, and we can like go somewhere and they can walk there themselves. So I'm really happy about that.
And their school is cool. That's kind of a unique setup as well.
Yeah, they speak Spanish at school.
Is it immersion?
It's dual immersion.
Wow.
So half the kids come from Spanish-speaking homes, half come from English-speaking. So in the end, they all learn grammar and spelling and all the things in both languages. So it is so fun. Like, a family moved from Venezuela this week, so they could just pop their kids in school, which makes me so happy. And the kids are like, oh, there's this new boy. We don't know where he's from. He has a different accent. But it's not easy. Like, one of my kids, I don't know if he loves that he can't really always speak English at school.
Right.
But they figure it out.
So are the older ones fluent? Or at least conversational at this point?
They're fluent. Like, the tests say that maybe they're not quite fluent yet, but the 5th grader is fluent, and he has this amazing accent from like every teacher from Dominican, and then one from Mexico, and then one from Spain.
What a gift.
It's a gift. I know. I grew up thinking that my town was like not that diverse, and I realized now that like it is a huge Hispanic population, and I adore it. And we all meet at our school. So
very cool.
It's great. I am married to Dan.
Okay.
He is great also. I met him after college, but Julie still knows him because we get together a lot still.
Yes, we got to hear about Dr. Dan early on. Yes, Dr. Dan.
Dr. Dan.
Dr. Dan.
And we always like to give a hard time because he is a little bit older than us. Now it doesn't seem like anything at all that he's 5 to 10
He's going to be,
remember.
47.
Okay, so he's like 7 years older than us, which now means nothing.
Right.
But when you're out of college and you're 22 and he's almost 30, you're like, whoa.
Right.
He was just out of school too, though, since he went to school for like ever.
True.
So we were all just graduating. He just went like 11 years more than us.
Yeah.
And we have a dog. We have a new puppy named Bruno. He's an English golden retriever. I had to beg and plead for that dog. And we also have a cat, which I don't like him, but that's my husband's dog, or my husband's cat, and I have the dog.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of fun. And I have a business called Lark. It was born out of my need for something creative as a mama. And I write drink recipes. I have like 70-gallon drink recipes for cocktails. And it's just my creative space where I can do my own thing. And it gets me into fun situations. Like I end up catering a lot of events. And that's not anything I ever thought I would do. I started writing down my recipes because I just needed to have my own space. And somehow I was like, oh, I have a lot of cocktail recipes because I love to have people over and have like something that's out that people can just get themselves and like serve themselves. And I can have this like really easy fun party and I don't have to attend to the bar.
Right.
So it kind of goes into this philosophy of like just having fun and having people over even when your house is dirty. And so I have a website and I have clean recipes that are healthy. And then I have Lark recipes that are a splurge.
Okay. I love
that's my thing.
It is so cool.
It's so cool.
Kate has always been a hostess. Like she knows how to make you feel welcome in her home. She has a beautiful home and she is always using it to make people feel welcome. She's got this gorgeous front porch with this big table and she just sets the most beautiful tables. If you come and spend the night in her home,
well, I'm going to now.
You should. You totally should. She just knows,
come on over tomorrow.
That's her gift. She is hospitality. It just oozes out of her. And like I said before, she's an amazing cook and she's able to not only make you feel welcome in her presence, but just like the food that she provides is warm and welcoming. She's an excellent photographer as well. And so she's able to capture those images on her website. So
that's what I was going to ask. Yeah. Do you do all those photographs like you have on Instagram and stuff?
I think I do about half of them. I do. I feel like I'm really good photographer with like when it's very light out and I don't have to use many technical skills.
Sure.
I have a good eye, but then at night I'm like, oh, I don't understand the science of photography, so I don't do those.
Gotcha.
So I hire people at events. I like hire people that can just take photos of what I'm doing and my friends and all that stuff.
Cool.
Yeah. So I always laugh that like I should have been an art major. I should have learned all that stuff at school, but I, was a good Christian girl that thought I should just help everyone directly be a social work major. Okay. So I didn't get to do that stuff at college.
Gotcha.
And I don't use my social work degree in a direct way now, but we all got to get there somehow.
You do social work though, so that's good.
I am a social worker.
There you go. And Kate, are you still working on the cookbook? I know that for a while you were compiling not only drink recipes, but food recipes as well.
I am. At first I thought like, I'm just going to put all my recipes together. I'm going to get this published. And that was my only goal. And then like people would ask me to help with events or they would hire me for stuff and pay me, which I was very excited about. So I definitely got distracted, but I was like, it's kind of nice to just have a product that I can sell in my business. So I'm still like, I need to have a cookbook. I'm going for it.
Very cool.
So I'm excited about that. And I've kind of been like back on the path toward cookbook. I have this amazing girl from Hope College who's getting 4 credits at college to write a strategic business plan for me because I went and spoke to their class about my business and they said, do you make any money with what you're doing? I'm like, no.
Right.
Nope, not at all. Yeah. I just give a lot of stuff away. And they're like, you could probably make money. So they assigned me my person and she is incredible. Okay. So I just really love the process and I'm grateful that I can take my time figuring that out.
Yeah.
So watch out for the Live on a Lark cookbook.
Very cool.
I can't wait to buy it. Well, Kate, we're so excited not only for Lark, but to hear your stories today that you're going to share with us. We usually talk about something we want to remember and what we want to forget. Where would you like to take us first?
I think we should start with what I want to forget so that you'll forget that by the time we go to the end of the interview.
That sounds good. That seems to be a common theme.
Does everybody choose that? Yeah. So a story I want to forget is when I had Willem. He's my middle.
Okay.
He was a screamer. He's a little colicky baby. And it was pretty fun, though, because he started out pretty amazing. I had a C-section with Jack, and then I had a VBAC with Willem, so I had a vaginal birth. Can we say that on Momnesia? Of course we can.
You can say anything. We talk about vaginas on here.
I mean, we're the Momnesias.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is just pure grace that I had this kid this way, because I didn't need to do that, but it was really pretty amazing that I got to have my kids both ways. Because I was pushing my first one out, and they were like, oh, that's not his head, that's his butt, we keep feeling. Wow. So, that was like not what I had expected. So Willem was like pure bliss in the beginning, and then we took him home, and he just never stopped crying. And I was like, oh, this is normal. This is fine. I'm a real everything's going to be okay type, I'm a positive.
A glass half full kind of gal.
Yeah, to a fault, maybe. And so I went through Willem's babiness, just thinking babies cried. And nobody really ever was thinking it was his stomach or his, we didn't really get to the bottom of anything. I just kind of endured it. And he had, torticollis, where they have to wear a helmet and all that. I did do like PT with him 5 times a day, where I would like squeeze his neck. So that just really was probably, I was like, this is normal. This is what people do. And I would just cry and cry and cry. And then I took him to Israel to see my little sister who was living there.
Wait, where?
Israel. My sister lived in Israel, and I got to go see her, and so I took my kid because he was free. I could take him on my lap. Literally cried the whole way there.
Oh my goodness! How long of a flight is that?
Oh, I don't know, like 13 hours, I think. I would just sit in the bathroom, be like, no one wants to hear this kid scream. Right. So I feel like that's a little bit of like how I think about Willem's baby.
How old was he at that point?
He was 9 months.
Okay.
So we would like go to the Shuk downtown in Jerusalem, in Old City, and he would be in my little front carrier, and I'd just have this little baby along. It was amazing, but also hard. Like, I just remember feeling like I can't go to the city in Jerusalem because someone's going to take him. Like, I would have these very irrational thoughts. And I never tied that to depression or anxiety or anything. I was just like, oh man, I'm a bad mom. Like I should be able to take this kid anywhere. Like, I'm going to go hike with him in the desert.
Right.
And I just kept thinking, what's my problem? Like, I just don't want to go anywhere, but I would make myself do things like travel across the world. So, never did anything about my feelings when I had this kid. I remember my older sister saying like, Kate, it shouldn't be this hard. Like, I think you should talk to your doctor. And I said, I just think I'm not doing this right. Like, I got to get better. I got to get better at being a mom. Like, I need to have better strategies. I need to work out more. I need to eat better. But that didn't work. But then I got pregnant with Vivi. So add another baby and pregnancy to the mix. And like Julie, I was on bed rest.
Oh, wow.
Every week I would have like someone helping me take care of my kids. And I'd be like, I don't need you to hire you full time because next week I'm going to get off bed rest. And I never did.
Thinking.
Oh, so that was great. Had Vivi. And finally I was like, I am not okay. Like, I cannot go anywhere. Like, I cannot get out of the house. I worry that like something terrible would happen, or I just had really irrational thoughts. I wanted to sleep all the time. My lowest point, and this is what I want to forget, is like, I'm in my back mudroom. I've got a kid screaming in the car carrier. I've got 2 other ones under the age of 3 or 4. And I am literally laying on the ground crying. And I'm thinking, why can I not leave this house? Like, I can't do it. I can't get them out of here.
Yeah.
And I don't want to. And what's going to happen when I go to the store? What's going to, like my mind was just racing all the time.
Yeah.
And I was so depressed. But I had no idea. So I had this amazing doctor who I went to who's, gave me a depression screening, and I was like saying yes to all the answers. So you say yes. There's 2 questions they ask you, and if things aren't going well, and you score low, they ask you 9 more. And I was just like clicking off all the boxes. Like, they're like, oh, honey, you're not doing well. I'm like, no, I think I'm not.
Yeah.
Nope, I think I'm not. And so they put me on meds, and I'm like, wow, like day and night. Like I almost took them, and yet the day after I was feeling amazing.
Wow.
They gave me the right one right away, and it was, but it was years of waiting for this to feel like myself again.
Sometimes that doesn't always happen. It takes a while for it to kick in. Sometimes you have to play around with which type of meds you're taking. So that's amazing that it was just right off the bat for you.
It was really pretty amazing. So I'm grateful for that, because that does not always happen. Right. But I think my body was like, just give me some serotonin or whatever it is you need.
Right. I do think there's something to be said for that bump you get even from knowing somebody hears, understands, affirms what's happening, and I'm not beyond repair. So there's something I can take. Mm-hmm. I do think even that shift in your thinking before the chemicals of it all kick in help you make that interim time.
Right. Is this just me, or is this something going on with inside me? I don't know. That's the questions that I sometimes ask.
Yeah. But at least it gives you that like hope that it can change, and that'll carry you a while till serotonin balances or whatever.
It totally will. And I feel like I do know that people manage their postpartum stuff on their own. And, I really tried that. Mm-hmm. And it did not work for me. Like I really was like, I'm going to run miles and miles and miles, and I'm going to only eat whatever. Not helpful for me. Probably a little bit, but like Julie, I don't sleepwalk anymore. I mean, I think that this was something that really got serious for me because of postpartum hormones, but I sleep like a baby on my meds. Like,
wow.
I don't get up in the middle of the night and like go to the window and tell my husband there's a fire like I used to. And he's really bored now with me. Yeah. I am no fun. So I sleep all night.
News.
It's awesome. Beautiful. So that is when I started to be like, oh my goodness, we can go and have fun. Like I can, and I can leave my kids and not feel guilty. Like I had such mom guilt. Mm-hmm. Like that I was not even considering working, because I thought I need to be the one to meet all their needs and Like I was not in a good place. And that's, I went on those meds, and then I started my business where I thought, you know what? I have the right to be happy. And God created us for good and pleasure and fun. And I can be a fun person, and that's helpful for my kids to see. Sure. And that was such a fun time in my life. Like I started attending a poetry salon with like all these amazing poets who are like my heroes, and I got asked to be in their group, their salon. Ooh, and we get together and share poetry every month. And so I love writing poetry, and like writing recipes was my way to like get to my poetry. Like I couldn't start just writing poetry. I just started writing down like things that I could do really well, like writing recipes. And now I write poetry and submit it to magazines. And so I feel like that all was birthed out of that time when I was on the floor. Like, I can't do it. I cannot go on. Yeah. So now I just feel like women need to know, like, you can get help, and you're already the best mom. There's no good moms and bad moms. Mm-hmm. We're all doing our best. And we need each other to say, you know what, I think that you're not okay. Like, you're amazing, but you need something to help you out. And you need people to help you. And you can let your spouse help you. And, all the things.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I wanted to mention. I'm so glad you had Michelle that was able to speak into your life and say, hey, Kate, I think you need some help. And we need people like that are willing to speak that truth into our life when it's probably uncomfortable and you probably don't want to hear it. And it's just awkward, but it's so needed.
Yeah.
And that I ignored her for basically a year and a half. And I was like, no, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she just was still there, and she was there.
Yeah.
And when I eventually came around, she was like, I am so glad for you.
Sister.
And all the rest of us.
Yeah.
And we made a pact before I had Vivian. Like, if I'm not well, you have to help me get to the doctor. Like, I think you need somebody like that who's going to be really honest. And if you're not from a tradition like I'm not, where like you don't really tell the truth about each other, you got to find that person.
Yeah, you do.
Who can tell you. So
I can really relate to, would it have been after Joseph? I don't remember. It's a blur, but it was after a baby that I had. And I went to the Y and checked everybody in the childcare. And it was that same kind of, if I just have enough gumption, and I wasn't particularly athletic. I mean, I worked out some, but I ran 6 miles.
Whoa.
It didn't make any sense. I should. And it was anxiety. It was anger. It was a fury. And I just thought, if I just keep going, I'm going to strong arm myself in my life into what I need it to be or what I want it to be. Of course, the sheer exhaustion, the sports bra, the whole thing. I had mastitis the next day.
Oh, no.
I kind of like, and I got it. I think I've had it probably close to 20 times with all the kids. So, but it was kind of because
so bad.
Dormant exhaustion and anxiety. And I was always susceptible to getting it because I wasn't sleeping right or, all the things. But I remember thinking, if I just work out enough, if I eat enough organic, if I take, maybe it's the fish oil, I need to change, all the things, but you can only, that's not enough because that big unrest piece of chemical imbalance or whatever it is will trump it.
Yes.
I think like you said, it may help. All those things may help, but at some level you have to surrender that it could be something much bigger.
Yeah. I should say, Julie,
no, go ahead.
One thing that has been amazing for me, that I went into a therapist's office and she's like, I can make you better. And I was like, no, you can't.
Right.
Bring it.
But we do this crazy cool thing called brain spotting.
Okay.
And I can provide the link because I don't have a clue how to tell you what it is. But there's you focus on a certain point in the room and there's music that engages both sides of your brains. And I call it Drano for the Braino. It gets all the yucky things out. I had some stuff I was fixating on from childhood, and it just, seriously, I hardly remember those things after spending 40-minute sessions once a week. For a year now.
Brain spotting?
Brain spotting.
Okay.
And it is this beautiful process that seriously helps you just let go of certain things. And I am a believer. Not everybody loves it, but for me and whatever I have going on in my brain, it has been so helpful. This woman was like, do you want to know why this works and how it works? I'm like, no, I don't really. I just want to do it.
Okay.
So, I sit in a chair, she puts these headphones on me, and there's this music that I can't even hear, but my brain is figuring out, and it engages my brain. I focus on one event and how it made me feel and where I feel it in my body.
Okay.
And then I can either close my eyes or look at a pointer and stay on that pointer for 40 minutes. So the therapist is sitting there and I'm sitting there, and it's crazy. I shouldn't use that word crazy, but it's amazing.
Yeah.
It sounds a little bit like EMDR. Is that?
Yes. I think that's something that the therapist did before this thing.
Okay.
Yeah, she did that.
Precursor to it.
Yeah. So I can't explain it very well, but you should all go look it up because it's amazing.
We're going to have to get a whole list of links and people can rabbit trail on all this.
Yes. Very cool. I did want to go back to kind of what you guys were talking about, like if I can just strong arm myself into mental health, that we can do that. That was something in one of my therapy sessions that I see it when I talk to myself. You can do this, Julie. Come on.
Right.
You know, just try a little harder type thing, where we talk to ourselves in a way that we would never speak that way to someone else. You know, if Sarah was depressed, I would never say, come on, Sarah, just try a little harder.
Right.
And so my therapist helped me think, okay, well, what if you were kind to yourself, Julie? Or if you were gentle with yourself? Because we're typically not gentle with ourselves.
Yeah.
What would that look like? And so sometimes when I catch myself thinking those thoughts, I think, okay, just be gentle. Be gentle to little Julie inside there.
Right. Yeah.
And that's hard, but I have noticed that has made a difference when I am able to kind of flip that view of how I treat others versus treating myself.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Thank you for opening up about that difficult time in your mama journey. I know it's not easy to tell a bunch of different listeners,
right?
Oh, I'm not making it.
This is me, and I didn't make it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to tell some people I know about this before they listen.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm still bad at opening up, but I'm getting there. This is my time.
Yeah, it is. So many of us have been there too.
Yes, you are not alone in that.
Here we are together.
Yep.
Well, let's tell a story that might bring a little bit of joy to the conversation. What is something that you want to remember?
Well, I'm an Enneagram. Well, I think I'm a 7, but I score as a 2. So I love to like create these moments that are like just beautiful and feel good and like create moments for other people, but also for myself and my family. So for my 40th birthday, I'm lucky duck, and we went to Italy.
Awesome.
And we took the kids, and we are staying at a winery in Tuscany, and there's like this infinity pool.
Oh.
And it looks over like olive groves and wine. And I'm sitting in this sun chair looking out, and my kids are playing Marco Polo in the pool. And I look at them, and the sun is setting, and I just think like, this is my life. And I just love these people. Like my husband sitting there next to me. We planned that trip. Like we planned everything right. Like we worked hours, trying to get those, the details right. And like we saved to get there. It was one of those things that, like it could have culminated into something kind of a mess.
Yeah.
But it actually, like the whole trip was just this beautiful bubble of lovely for our family, and like just a celebration of like getting through those baby days and like getting to an amazing point in our marriage, and working for the good moments. And I'm all about loving life like right where I am today, and trying to just enjoy every moment with the kids, whether it's like doing math homework or volunteering somewhere or helping my grandma or whatever.
Yeah.
But I love vacation and I love to travel. Yes. And they were the best little travelers. Like they're way better than me because they don't know they have like jet lag,
Right. Yeah.
They're just like, hey, now we're here and let's try to learn the language. Cool. Let's eat pasta and squid, whatever.
Right.
They were better than I expected they were going to be. And, oh man, it was so good.
I'm so glad you were so aware of it. So aware.
Yes.
Right?
Of how great it was.
Because that doesn't always happen, or you just miss stuff. And I feel like the Momnesia is not going to take over here. Like I'm not going to forget it.
Yeah.
It's cool to see how that hard work ahead of time allowed you to be able to have that moment to breathe and to relax once you were there. Mm-hmm. Because I think for me, I could see myself just being stressed the entire time I'm there thinking, okay, now we got to do this. Okay, now we got to do that. And so just being able to soak it in and breathe and capture that moment. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. We didn't try to rush and see everything. We just were like, okay, we're at the pool today. Yeah. We could be doing this wherever, but we're not in Michigan.
Right. Yeah.
So that was
awesome.
Awesome. And they loved it too.
What were some of the highlights of the trip?
Oh, exploring Rome was a blast. Like they just walked and walked. Like we 30,000 steps one day.
Wow.
I was like, my 7-year-old went for it, know? And they're like, Mom, this Coliseum, it's really old. Right. And Venice was like so fun. People always are like, oh, it's way too busy there, blah, blah, blah. But it was a blast. It's a magical city, it's all canals. It's amazing. And they all play the violin. They're all in Suzuki violin, just like cool. Julie was,
I didn't know that.
So we went to Cremona where Stradivarius violins were born.
Okay. It's so cool.
It was like such a normal town. Like only the people there were people that live there and people that love violins. Like it was either like families that were there to do what we were doing or famous musicians or people that live there. So it was like just a lovely, normal town. That was fun.
Very awesome.
So those were some highlights. I'm a big fan.
Well, I can see why that's something that you want to remember.
It was good.
Okay, so as you know, as a fan of the Momnesia podcast, right?
Yeah.
We are going to end with the mom seat. Are you ready, Kate?
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read off 2 answers for each question, and you have to choose the one that most resonates with you. Now, there's possibility, yes, you've done both. But if you had to only pick one, which one will it be? Okay.
Got it.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Disposable or cloth?
Cloth.
Bottle or breast?
Breast.
Pinterest mom or Amazon Prime?
Amazon Prime.
What? Okay. Jeans or yoga pants?
Yoga.
Top knot or ponytail?
Top knot.
Home birth or hospital?
Hospital.
Chore chart or managing chaos?
Oh, managing chaos.
Gender reveal or find out when it pops out?
Find out when it pops out.
Instagram or Facebook?
Insta.
Homemade or store-bought?
Homemade.
Lullabies or sound machine?
Lullabies.
5 servings of veggies per day or per month?
Per day.
President of the PTA or I'll send in some goldfish?
Oh, no. Ooh. President.
Oh, bubble bath or in a good book or girls' night out?
Girls' night out.
Weekly meal plan or McDonald's drive-thru?
Weekly meal.
Homeschool or go to school?
Go to school.
In your home, are you free bird or robed up?
Oh, robed up.
Favorite parenting resource?
Oh, that's not a yes or no question.
Yeah, sorry.
Julie, you broke your own rules, bruh.
Friends.
Bruh. Friends. Favorite place to buy kids' clothing?
A store downtown Holland. Cute one.
Okay. Awesome. Well, you have completed the mom seat. Good job.
Yeah.
I think we were meant to be friends because I was tracking with you on every single one of those up until veggies. I think there must be more veggies per month.
I surprised you on the Pinterest, didn't I?
Did.
Yeah.
I thought for sure. Well, thank you, Kate, so much. It was so much fun to have you on here with us today. And we will make sure to leave links for the brain spotting as well as Lark. We hope you guys will follow her on Instagram and sign up for her newsletter. And honestly, it's going to be so much fun for your next party to use one of her recipes. I use them all the time when we have gatherings. So
I'm so proud of you, Julie.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And I'm glad to reconnect with you after 20 years, I think, of not talking, just seeing each other on social media. And we do make it to Holland now and again. So
yes, we need to plan a trip.
Dropping you a line next time we're coming up.
you give me a call. Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Thanks,
I'm
Kate.
so honored to be on, you guys. I think you're doing amazing things. So
We'll give
thank you.
Give our love to Dan and the kids.
I will.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, we hope you will come back next week on the Momnesia podcast, where we're going to share more stories before Momnesia sets in and we forget it all. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Today's episode of Momnesia was recorded at Grace Church in Noblesville, Indiana, with original music by Phil Larson. Make sure to check out Grace's podcast Between Sundays and Phil's music on Spotify.